Welcome to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. For many, the ideal dream is being able to work from home, having a creative life within the house. But what if maybe that ideal isn't all it's cracked up to be? Maybe it's a little bit better to have a small office space away from home.
Hey, James.
What's up, Pat? What's going on?
Well,
are those moving boxes?
what? No. I moved
No?
in here. I moved in here in September of 2023.
2023.
It is now what? May 2025.
Yeah, middle of May 2025.
I've been here 1 year and 8 months.
1 year and 8 months in the we'll call it the white room.
20 months in metric.
20 metric months. Living in the white room.
We'll call it. Yeah, okay. So I had a print on the wall behind me, and then I chose to take it down so I could put up my little piece of white. Whatever you could, like, you can write on it with dry erase markers.
Yep.
Whiteboard. Ha!
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah.
White. My little piece of whiteboard. I thought maybe something inspirational would come to me that I want to write on there, but it's pretty blank. There's a little bits of. Anyway,
Yeah.
Where were we? Working from home.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm mentioning I think you're feeling all of those months in your white room.
You're not wrong. Okay, so what? Hang on though, because when I first moved in, I couldn't work in this room because there was no desk. I built the desk. Don't look too closely, okay? I built it. I'm not a carpenter. And then I also got a bunch of shelves lining two sides of the room to hold the ridiculous amount of paper and books that it takes to be a book editor. And I have these very cool, different wall hung filing things and stuff. I do most of my stuff electronically, but anyway, so I wasn't really situated the way I am right now, probably until I'm going to say it was last summer sometime. So I've been like this for a year, let's call it. And by like this, I mean I'm in a 7-by-4-foot closet with no windows.
Yep.
And I'm trying to get used to working at home because I have always rented offices before, except for a 1-year period in 2017 when I worked in the house I shared with my 2 kids and my husband. And working here is it's making it harder for me to separate my work life from my home life. And I think that's leading to my weirdness. Contributing to my weirdness. Yeah, around what you called in an earlier segment, chaos. Chaotic.
Yeah, the chaos, needing somebody to tip their head into your office and say, "Hey, Pat, it's time to join the rest of the society here in a constructive way."
Get the fuck out.
And and it's interesting because I've never had, as a freelancer doing this stuff, I've never had an office outside of the home.
Right?
So, and I've been doing this, for a good solid, almost, I think maybe 25 years, getting close.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling it.
Yeah.
Same sensation of I'm working in home, I'm at home, and really leaning into this idea of having just a separate office.
Yeah.
Right? It's a tiny little room. Desk and my stuff.
Yeah.
But that act of like waking up in the morning, going out the door, going outside, going to this place that's hopefully not far away, working, coming home, and having that bit of separation.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what it would do that we can't do. So what I remember from I rented offices in 3 different places in Vancouver. I had such a great landlord each time. I loved my landlords. They were just prices were reasonable because they like creative people. Like they were renting to photographers, artists, different types of people. And so they kept the rent pretty reasonable. But what I liked was walking through the world on my way to and from work because I'm a walker, so I would be from one office, I would think I was about a 20 5-minute walk, and the other one was more like
Mhm.
45 minutes. And
Mhm.
I still walked. I walked year round pretty much. So I liked that part of it. And I also liked that if I left, I have a similar thing here. Like I have a room, so it's not like I need to take all my stuff off the dining room table. I mean, I am working in
Right.
a room
Right.
that's
Yeah.
solely dedicated to work, as you are. But I think the other thing
Yep.
I liked was that when I had downtime, uh, I knew all my stuff was at a different building, and
Mhm.
I didn't, it's not that I'm ever tempted to go to work when I don't have to because I work a lot already, but I think I was just like, well, there is one bigger issue with me working here, which is that, I have two young adult children, and it's
Mhm.
harder for them to live with me because I'm here all the time and I'm really, really concentrating most of the
Yeah.
time. So I don't care if they make noise because I have earplugs and shit. It's not about that. It's just that the idea of this being a workplace is sort of the antithesis of it being a home
Mhm.
with an
Right.
available adult, you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's interesting. One of the joys of doing this work for me was I was basically single parent, two very young kids.
Yeah.
And this allowed me to be there in the morning, get them off to school, lunches, all that kind of stuff, and then be there when they walked out of the school building.
Hmm.
And that experience, even just being like really selfishly me about it was really powerful and important for me.
Yeah,
But I think it was very important for my kids too, to have,
absolutely.
to not kind of, because before that, they had disappeared into some sort of after school care kind of thing. And they were,
Hmm.
my daughter did better, but, my son was kind of miserable about it, but neither of them were totally happy.
No,
And
exactly. Yeah.
so I was able to, in that instance, provide a much better way of being. But now I feel like, yeah, there's work is always just right there,
Yeah.
and having that space.
I
And
wonder what it would. Hmm?
sorry to interrupt, but the other thing that really got me thinking about this was we've done some great interviews where with artists who have been
Yeah.
in working spaces.
Yeah.
And boy, did I see the value of that.
Me too. Yeah. So we're talking about Juliana Brazil and Kath Montstream, and
Yes.
they both had space in the same place. Was it the soda plant? Or was it
Yeah,
two
so
different cities?
soda plant, and then
Oh
I
yeah, there was a
think
different one.
Juliana had a different like button factory I can't remember the
No,
this.
no, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, the point is that they both had studio space, and I think and Kath also had space in her home. So she could work in two places
Mhm.
and did. And Juliana also worked in two places. She could work at home, but she didn't have a dedicated office at home, but she could work at her kitchen table, and she could also work in her studio space, which was rented. Yeah, and I think the value of it is kind of intangible because honestly, if I wasn't using this room for what I'm using it for, I would probably use it for storage. It wouldn't be a place that
Mhm.
I would set up with I don't know, like a massage chair and just come in here and sit in it. I can't imagine what I would use it for. I mean, I have a pretty good imagination. I'd probably think of something, but it would probably just hold stuff that I don't really want to shove under my bed and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I can't, I think I think what I'm struggling to articulate is the value of working outside the home. What I arrived at when I started working here was that it's going to be at least an extra 500 or 600 a month, probably way more to rent an office
Yeah.
here or studio space. And so I'd have to work more to cover that, and I don't want to.
Right. Right.
What about you?
Yeah. I think so thinking about the shared creative space,
Hmm.
obviously for what we do, you need a door, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be hard to do it in just a big open room. Certainly I couldn't do interviews and all that kind of stuff. So
No,
that's
exactly.
that's a
Yeah.
big consideration. So, you know, cost versus value, and even if it's say 200 $300 extra a month, it's still 200 $300 extra a month. So you got to
Mm.
you know figure it out. But if it's a shared creative space where you can have a door, it feels like part of whenever I've seen these kinds of spaces, affordability is always the big issue,
Hmm.
right? So it's not just to have the space, but it's, can creative people afford it? So I feel like that might, work to our benefit, as opposed to, say if you're a therapist and you need
True.
to have an office outside of your home.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you also charge $200 an hour, so.
Yeah, yeah, you're making out pretty well. Um, but yeah, I mean, would it lead to more profitability because I'm less stressed and have a better sort of sense of work home kind of life? I
Mhm.
don't know, and I've never had it, so it'd be a big experiment.
Yeah. For me, I think it was very important initially in giving me time to do what I needed to do without doing childcare at the same time. Like it was
Right.
really crucial, especially starting up the business, because I didn't know how much money I was going to make a month, but I knew that I had to have a website, I had to have clients, I had to have all this stuff, and I couldn't set that up from my house. I just didn't have that kind of space in there. There was no room to work in. I mean, I did my master's thesis stuff in the hot water tank closet.
Right.
It had a door.
Yeah,
So yeah, but now I really feel like yes, my kids are much more, well, they're older, they're much more independent and so on. But I still yearn for the contact with the outside world, getting to and from
yeah,
work. And maybe, yes, once in a while it was a pain in the ass, We don't get snow very often here, but when we do, and I'd be hiking up the hill from work because I walked there, so I didn't have a car there, it'd be easier to just walk back than to get on a bus with the way
right.
Vancouver buses run in snow. Um, and I'd be going, oh, geez, I wish I was home, making dinner or whatever. But that was rare compared to the times maybe it was the kind of zone out time walking back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah.
Maybe it was just
Well,
that people didn't know what I was doing, and I liked that.
yeah. Yeah, you have the office, you have the separation. As a former night snowmaker, there is no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
That's my response to that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would say that I am very remote office curious.
Hmm. Cool.
That's what I
Yeah. There's probably a Reddit for that.
would say. Yeah, there probably is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I also we're at the end of our time here,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
I have a huge update.
What?
And I did not tell you I was going to have this huge update when we came to do our content meeting today, but I have a massive, massive update.
Hey, what is it?
Are you ready? So, remember the large piece of art that was behind me in my office?
Yeah.
And we had a conversation where I set it up. I
Yeah.
put the nail in the wall, looking for
Yes.
this, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it remained in place. It
Yeah.
did not fall for, for a very long time
Yeah.
until 3 a.m.
Oh shit. You're half-assed. Bird came home to roost.
2 nights ago.
Ah.
Man, did it come crashing down because just to get people up I have a different office in the winter because I'm in
Yeah.
the back of the house. It's not heated. And I put up this big, huge piece of art. The other side of the wall is the bedroom I share with my wife
Oh shit.
and our three cats usually.
Oh shit.
And man, did that fucker come down at 3 a.m.
Did
And
the Whoa.
yeah, it went bang, woke us up, cats flying everywhere.
Ah.
Yeah, it was a catastrophe. Um, wah, wah. So yeah, so it came down. That's
Did the
the
glass break?
no, no, the glass it went down the wall. It just went wham. So
Man,
you heard like this s- kind of scraping and then bam. And
that's
it didn't fall
wild.
over or anything. It just
Lasted pretty long considering how badly you hung it and how quickly.
yeah.
And
Oh, it was a terrible job. It was a terrible hanging job,
yeah, yeah. That's
you know.
great. And it didn't break. Did it take out any chunks of drywall?
It didn't take out the
Sheetrock, whatever you call it.
tiniest little bit of drywall.
Wow.
Easy, easy enough to patch.
I'd call that a success.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Where is
was
it now?
it's leaned up against the wall, waiting for my return and my half-assery.
Maybe you should full ass it this time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's true. And the reason why I half-assed it the last time is because you had, for many, many weeks in a row, said you got to hang that thing.
I had rattled your cage a couple of
Then we
times.
were 30 seconds before go
Yeah,
time for
I
our
remember.
meeting, and I rushed it and half-assed it, and so yeah, it's been a great experiment for us.
Well, I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad you told me.
Yeah, it's a lot of gifter underachieving right there.
Right? Oh my
So
God. More under than gifted.
yeah, emphasis on the under.
Okay, so working from home. Any advice, thoughts? Are we
Yeah,
done?
takeaways.
Takeaways?
I think for me, it's definitely something I'm very curious about,
Yeah.
interested about. I would love to try it and see how it goes.
You're a remote office curious. I'll tell you one thing I have just started doing. Well, I did it last week and then I got too effing busy. Sometimes I work on hard copy when I'm doing a particular type of editing.
Hmm.
Um, like after I've already done big picture stuff, because they don't want to hire a different editor to do that stuff. And on those days, I have twice now taken the manuscript to a library that has those carols, like study
Yeah.
carols.
Oh
And I
yeah.
have earbuds and alpha brainwave music on my phone, and I have like a water bottle and whatever, whatever, whatever. And I set up, and the focus I get there is insane because
Wow.
I can't just get up and wander into the kitchen. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm here. I might as well do this shit. And
Yeah.
so I would say what that does for me is it's a half-hour walk there and back. It was cherry blossom season the first time I did it, and now it's just nice out. Usually it's raining today, but
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
and I get to see other people be weird in the library, which is always really fun. And then when I need to stand up and walk around, because I'm there for like 3 hours, I'll stand up and walk around and go look at books and magazines and stuff, just for like 10 minutes each time to take my stretch break. But yeah, so that's going to be, I think, my summertime happy middle ground. The only problem is I don't very often get that type of editing. So, and I have been resisting taking my laptop to the library because I prefer to work on my desktop, but just get over yourself, Dobie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, I
Suck it
mean,
up.
they're going out to do some work as a break, as
Yeah.
out of the place. And then there's that I need to have my larger screen so I can have multiple
Yeah.
documents up, the kind of consideration.
Yeah. I think that's about as good as it's going to get for me is the going out to take a break this year. And then we'll see. I mean, I question the value of an external office, but I do want one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Interesting.
Hmm?
In a world of people trying to work from home, we're trying to, considering getting out of the house.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And you.
Very good. We are the Self-Congratulatory Society of North America. We've just earned another sash.
The initials for that Self-Congratulatory Society of North America is SONA. SONA. SCSONA.
Thanks for listening to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. We'd love to hear how we're doing, so please leave a comment, join our chat page, or send us an email at giftedunderachievers@substack.com. Also, it helps a lot when you click on the subscribe and or share button, so please do that. And you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere else you like to listen to podcasts. Have an awesome day.